Hello, so this is the first part of lesson 2. So I will be discussing naming of compounds. For the first part, I will be discussing the naming of ionic compounds. Okay, so this will include only the binary compounds. So when I say binary compounds, are compounds made up of two elements. Okay, so an example is water, which is H2O, carbon dioxide, which is CO2, and methane. So those are the examples. So water is made up of two elements, one which is hydrogen and oxygen, similar to carbon dioxide, which is also made up of carbon and oxygen. Okay, so methane is also a binary compound because it contains carbon and hydrogen only. So another example of a binary compound for ionic compounds is table salt, which is NaCl. Okay, sodium chloride. So two elements were present only, so we have sodium and a chlorine. Okay, so when naming ionic compounds, different set of rules will be applied to our metals that are in a fixed oxidation state and a varying oxidation state. Okay, so before that, so an ionic compound is the combination of a cation and an ion, a metal and a non-metal. Okay, so if we have here a cation, which is a metal, a positively charged particle, and a non-metal, which is a negatively charged particle, they are attracted by each other through electrostatic force. Okay, so this is similar to magnets. When the positive charge pole of a magnet easily attracts a negatively charged pole of the another magnet. Okay, so metals in with fixed oxidation states, so they only contain only one charge. An example for a table salt is sodium. All sodium ions appear only as Na plus 1. Okay, so there is no Na plus 2 sodium Na plus 2 ion. Okay, so in your periodic table, these are the metals that lies along the leftmost part of your periodic table sa first two column, wherein the first two column, for the first column, all metals present in the first column has a that bears positive 1 charge. Okay, now for the second column, all metals lying to the second column has a positive 2 charge. So I must include also aluminum, that you can see to the right part of your table. It has a fixed oxidation state of positive 3. Okay, so an example is AlCl3. This is an ionic compound with a fixed oxidation state. Okay, so because the aluminum has only one charge, which is positive 3. So with that, we can name this compound in this manner. So first, we identify the name, which is aluminum. Then the root word of your non-metal, which is for chlorine, will be chlor. Okay, so chlor, then we will add the suffix IDE. Okay, so overall the name will be aluminum chloride. Next one, CaO. Okay, so again, we name the name of the metal, which is calcium. The root word for oxygen, which is ox. Okay, then add IDE. Okay, next one, Ki. This will be potassium. the name of the metal, the root word for iodine, and then the suffix IDE. Okay, potassium iodide. Okay, lithium nitride. Don't get confused by the subscript 3. That is the it is necessary that we have the subscript 3 to indicate the number of atoms of lithium present in this whole compound. So we already learned this one in the chemical formula writing. Okay, so even though there is a 3, you just need to name the metal. Name the metal, which is lithium. Okay, next one, the root word for nitrogen, then the suffix IDE. So that is how we name ionic compounds consisting of a metal with a fixed oxidation state. Okay, however, when we are about to name metals that has a varying oxidation state, okay, variable charge, so it could be it will be vague to name. For example, this copper oxide, which is a CaOO, it will vague to name this CuO as copper oxide only, as which is a similar system of naming for metals with fixed oxidation state. So the reason why it is vague, because there is another copper that has a charge of positive 1. When we combine it to oxygen, the chemical formula will be Cu2O. So Cu2O, the Cu2O here is different to CuO. If we name them both by with the name copper oxide, so it will be a vague one. So with that, we arrived with two different systems. One that is a stock system naming, the other one is the classical or traditional naming. So let's get first to the stock system. So the stock system, we first, prior knowledge of formula writing is important. We need to identify what is the charge of our metal here. So for copper oxide, for CuO, okay, it is clear that oxygen has a negative 2 charge. With respect to the formula, which is CuO, obviously Cu will bear a positive 2 charge. Okay, so the positive 2 charge, we will use that information when naming the with naming ionic compound with varying oxidation state. Okay, so with that, we write the name of the metal, copper. Next, the charge enclosed in a parenthesis and written as a Roman numeral, which is 2. Then the name of the non-metal, the root name of the non-metal, ox, then add the suffix IDE. Okay, so this will be copper 2 oxide. Okay, hope that is clear. Next one, so we can also name them using a traditional system. So one that is cupric, one that is cuprous. Again, copper has 2 occurring ions, Cu1 plus and Cu2 plus. So when naming metal ionic compound using traditional or classical naming, we need to use the Latin root word of that metal. Okay, so for copper, that is cuprum. So we need to use the root name, which is UPR, then add the suffix OUS or IC. Okay, then the root name of your non-metal, which is ox, then the suffix IDE. Okay, so when we will use OUS, when we will use IC. Okay, so we will use OUS if the charge of your metal is the higher one. For that case, for this case of copper only, no, the higher charge of metal is 2 plus. Okay, so the higher charge is 2 plus. The lower charge, okay, will be 1 plus. I mean, the higher charge is 1 plus. So the lower charge is 1 plus. The higher charge will be 2 plus. Okay. Okay, so that is the rule for naming. We use OUS for lower charge metal. We use IC for higher charge metal. Okay, for example, CuO. Upon learning the formula writing, we know that the Cu here uses the charge positive 2. No? Okay? On the other hand, we have Cu2O. Upon learning formula writing, we use charge crossing technique. The charge of the copper here will be 1 plus. Okay? The charge of oxygen will be 2 minus. Okay? So comparing the two, this one uses a positive 2 charge, the other one is a positive 1 charge. The one bears the higher charge, which is plus 2. So with that, we will use the root name for cuprum, for copper. We use the higher charge suffix, which is IC. Then the root word for oxygen, ox, then IDE. Okay? For copper, for this one, Cu2O, since it uses a lower charge copper, then the name of the Latin root word, which is the lower charge suffix designation, which is OUS. Okay, then root word of your non-metal, then IDE. Okay, so for metals, these are the set of different metals with their Latin name, which we will commonly use for our exams. So aurum for gold, so that will be +1 or +3. So you use aurus if the gold metal is positive 1 charge. Okay, and if it is higher charge, which is Au3 plus, then you need to use auric. Okay, so cuprum, I already mentioned that, +1 and +2. Ferrum for iron, there will be Fe2 plus and Fe3 plus. Okay, plumbum, that is Pb +2 and Pb +4. Okay, antimony, stibum, that will be Sb3 plus and Sb5 plus. Okay, tin, that will be Sn2 plus, 2 plus and Sn4 plus. Again, you use OUS. So you use OUS suffix for metals that bears the lower charge and IC for higher charge. Okay, let's have an example. Let's name them using stock and classical system. Okay, again, when we name metal, we name ionic compounds with varying charges, then Pb, so the name of the metal using stock system, lead. What is the charge of Pb here? So you need to have a prior knowledge in formula writing. Okay, so let's try to write it down. So we have learned that Pb here uses a positive 2 charge. So with that, we have learned that lead, the name, the charge, which is 2, then the root word for the non-metal, chlor, then IDE. Okay, next one, we can name them using the classical naming. Okay, so lead has 2 recurring charges, Pb2 plus and Pb4 plus. Okay, so with that, we know that we will use the lower charge, which correspond to the lower charge suffix OUS. Okay, so lead with plumbum, so plum boost. Okay, chloride. Okay, so FeCl3. Okay, let's try to solve for the charge of the iron first. So this one will be Fe, charge crossing technique, Fe3 plus and Cl minus. Okay, so this will be iron using a stock system naming. Iron, the charge of their metal, which is 3, chloride. Okay, next one, using classical naming. Okay, iron has 2 recurring charges, which is 2 plus and 3 plus. It uses a higher charge, so we will use the higher charge suffix, which is Ic. So for iron or ferrum, we will use the root word for ferrum, which is ferric chloride. Okay, next one, SNO. So SNO, try to solve for the charge first, O2 minus, then this will be 2 plus. Okay, Sn has 2 recurring charges, which is 4 plus and 2 plus. Okay, it uses the lower charge. Okay, so name it for using stock system, so that will be tin 2 oxide. Okay, that is clear. Then stannum, that will be stannum, uses lower charge, which is OUS. So stannum will be stannous oxide. Okay, so next meeting we will discuss the naming for molecular compounds or compounds that uses covalent path. Okay, so we will not expect metals present in this type of compound. Okay, thank you.